minds are awake. We are taking our place on this planet.
Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, family. It's your favorite Moor, Michael LeVay, coming at you guys live. One time for the one time. So, y'all.
So he forgot his little red fez when he first started recording, but no worries. The red fez is always at arm's reach.
I already know how I'm coming. Right now I'm preparing a salad. I really didn't want to post any more videos, but after the day I decided that it would be in the best interest of my nation for me to continue to speak on things as we transition into this period of governing, self-governing, de jure, non-de facto maritime governing.
Say what?
For those of you want a quick clue in.
Whoa, he seems a bit angry. Or maybe I'm misreading that energy. Maybe he's just very passionate about what he's about to speak on. So let's see what he has to offer us.
So yeah, there's a couple of topics that I really would like to discuss today with you all, with my audience, and particularly other Moors, because we need each other and we need honorable men in our communities, especially during these times. And it's unfortunate that a lot of older folks have taken to tricking their youth and trying to steal their birthrights. And so today's topic is just going to be on all of that stuff as I make my salad. So, without further ado, first thing that I want to touch on is the maritime and admiralty jurisdiction that most of our men have fallen into, and they think that nobody knows what they're doing. We know. You're just as much to blame for the generational disparities in our communities as these crackers, as these dishonorable motherfuckers. Pilgrims hiding away in our estates. Understood? Understood? Overstood? Okay. So with that being said, a lot of you motherfuckers is just as guilty, and I'm here to motherfucking make sure that your reign ends today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. So today's topic, I really just want to discuss locomotion and traveling as a Moorish American national, as someone who has their own government, their own sovereign, theocratic, civic government. We have the right to travel, as well as the de jure organic constitution from 1787 to 1791. Those de jure documents guarantee our rights to travel and our sovereign theocratic de jure status.
Excuse me, sir, but what in the doohickey are you talking about?
Okay, that's as simple as I can put it. And I want to give a quick shout out to my brother at the Moorish Nationality Card Services, Judah's son. You already know how we moving. You guys, if you need a nationality card, that is the man to hit up. They are awesome. When I tell you they are awesome, they are very professional. Those are the people that's who you need to hook up with. And I'm going to make sure that I put a link in my description for anybody who wants to move out of that sovereign jurisdiction. But let me make this clear. If you are not an American, if you are not a firstborn, secondborn, or third generation American who was born on this soil, this video does not apply to you. Period. At all. Nilch. If you want to be sovereign, go your ass back home. Because we're going to tell y'all the same way we tell these pilgrims. You cannot claim our bloodline. Those days are over with. They've been over with in Australia for the last decade. Now it's finally touched base in America. Welcome to the new revolution.
This guy is out of his mind. I have absolutely no idea what he's talking about.
As I stated before, and this is with all due respect, but Martin Luther King, those civic rights are not for me as a de jure Aboriginal American national. I do not need civil rights. And I found this ungodful truth within the last 4 years. So there's a lot of pilgrims who sit on YouTube and y'all sitting and y'all lurking and y'all watching because y'all know what's coming. And the only thing I can tell you is, you know, I'm not afraid of anything. Nos enim advertos totus, we see all. So go ahead and you can continue to watch, critique, and analyze my videos. Everything that I do it with love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. The 5 points of light all day, every day. So carrying on. As it pertains to driver's licenses, the states, all 48 continental states, have taken an oath to a maritime jurisdiction. That maritime jurisdiction puts Aboriginals and tribal Americans, Native Americans, if we choose to do business in commerce with the United States de facto government as it is today, as it has been since 1933. If we decide to do business with that corporation, the state of, and we get their driver's licenses, we are not fulfilling our spiritual assignments and our spiritual duties, not only to ourselves as I, self-law, and master, we're doing a disservice to our nation. So I really am making this video for all of the new neophyte Moors who are coming into this game, because knowledge is critical in these times, especially when we have a president that we have in there who's allowing for all of these illegal immigrants to trespass against our sovereign theocratic county government estates.
Just wait a second. You were just talking about driver's licenses and not needing one, and advising neophyte Moors that they don't need a driver's license. You went from that to talking about the president and immigrants. What in the doohickey are you talking about? Get your thoughts together, because you are all over the place. You should have at least written down your speech before you came on and just started recording, because as of right now, you're just rambling and you're making absolutely no sense.
If you don't know, I'm telling you. So, yeah, I recently just went through a situation, and I've been contemplating whether or not I was going to do a particular thing with the United States federal government. And I realized that if I were to go ahead and do this next step, the only thing that it would be benefiting me on as it pertains to my ancestral estate is driving legally. And as I tell people all the time in my walk over the last 5 years, I don't deal with legality. I only deal with the law. So with that being said, there is remedy. There is a remedy to this driver's license situation, but you must remain in honor.
You know what? You're absolutely right. There is a remedy to the driver's license situation. And the remedy is making sure that you actually have one. Making sure that you actually have a driver's license that's issued by one of the 50 states, and making sure that that driver's license is valid and not expired. That is the one and only remedy. Nothing else.
Pay your debts. And if you don't know how to discharge debt appropriately, pay your debts. Then you can proceed to step A. I'm going to tell y'all, just like how I tell y'all in Monopoly, do not pass go, do not collect $500, stop, get in alignment, and then proceed. Don't do shit until you have moved in a line, until you have ordered your steps lawfully and appropriately. Order your steps. That is the first order of the day, is to order your steps. And as Brother Ben Alatsa Yashara, I really don't want to mess up his title because I'm not deeply invested in saying it correctly as I speak. So I'm going to just refer to him as Judah's son. As Brother Judah's son has stated very eloquently in his videos as to why he does not give out international driving permits.
He doesn't give out international driving permits because if he did, it would be illegitimate, and he doesn't want to deal with the headaches of people hounding him when they get arrested for driving around with something fictitious that he sold to them. That's why he doesn't do it.
The majority of countries that we call countries have de facto governments as well.
Wrong.
There are people in these indigenous communities who feel just as trapped and helpless as many of our Aboriginal and Indigenous Americans. You feel me? And in order for us to move out of this ignorance, we have to competently know and analyze the law that is being used, so that way we know how to combat it. When I was in high school, I had someone very close to me say, I used the dress code against the school to get my way. You feel me? That's how you have to move. You have to move you have to use their documents, not against them, but in accordance with them. Moors, we have treaties. Those treaties protect your everything. They protect your right to property. And I don't use the word property. They protect your right to your personal belongings. They protect your land estate. Those treaties protect your rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Are you a functional retard? I have to ask.
So again, a lot of people, they're finding themselves, especially young folks, they find themselves, they're paying insurance, they're paying a tag every year, every 365 days, just to travel in their personal motor vehicle or their personal automobile. I use the word automobile. I don't use the word motor vehicle because the word motor vehicle is a commercialized terminology.
Excuse me, sir, but a motor vehicle is an automobile. So what in the doohickey are you talking about, sir? You see, this is the nonsense that Moorish science produces. It produces a bunch of crap.
Motor vehicle or their personal automobile. I use the word automobile. I don't use the word motor vehicle because the word motor vehicle is a commercialized terminology.
Wrong.
I use an automobile. I don't use motor vehicles. So with that being said, a lot of our young people are very upset and don't know what's really going on. And it's unfortunate that if you don't know what's going on, some of our people are willing to make your life that much harder because they're miserable. And it's very, very, very unfortunate. We got married men out here trying to creep out on their wives and shit. And it's all up in the melanated communities. We're the ones most hit because we're the ones who have to remain on this soil. These pilgrims are passerbys. They're travelers. They always have been and they always will be. But you're permanent.
Okay, so this Moorish sovereign citizen is obviously a scatterbrain because he just went from talking about motor vehicles to the men in his community cheating on their wives, and then to the Europeans being passerbyers on this land. This dude is all over the place, but this is the result of Moorish science. You see it right here at its finest. This brother really thinks he's dropping knowledge right now. He thinks he's teaching us something. This is comical.
If you choose to be. Some people abandoning their estates. Trust me, I ain't abandoning shit over here. Guaranteed. Blessed by the Most High all day, every day. There are people who will come to try to knock you off your square if you let them. Do not let them. Show how disciplined you are in the word of Allah, in the spirit of Ma'at.
Okay, so now this Moorish sovereign citizen is mixing religions. He's mixing Islam with the Kemetic faith. Ma'at has nothing to do with Islam, brother. What in the doohickey are you talking about?
You could tell by the attitudes. Like, I just met somebody, he was older than me, but he was all quiet and passive, and it took me a second to realize, hold up, time out, flag on the motherfucking play, what's that on your motherfucking hand? Get the fuck out. Next. So with that being said, I'm just trying to keep it real with my audience and move appropriately. Because if you're not careful, these leeches will leech. They will definitely do that. They will definitely do that. So we have to be bigger than our ancestors were. We have to be bigger than our grandparents were. And we have to move lawfully. We have to move in accordance with the people who are holding our land in custody. Without our permission. Every permission that they've had thus far, if you're a millennial, if you were born in 1995, every permission they had was from a mother who was in sin. It was from a father who was in sin. And then from what I'm finding out, there's a majority of a lot of these wards of states who are orphans. So they've just been ran through the mother mill. And that's truly unfortunate. It truly is. This is not a hate video. This is not to say to go and diss all the pilgrims in your area. This is just to say that we have to do better for our heirs. Point blank, period. Life may be very difficult right now. Hard times don't last long. Remain honorable. Remain honorable. I've seen way too many videos now on YouTube of girls and young women who've allowed ignorant, illiterate men into their lives, and they've done nothing but leech off them. And by the time that woman or that young lady realizes that this motherfucker is no good, they're way too deep in it, and these men are attacking these women. These men are taking these women's lives. It's not right. It's not right. Period.
I don't even know how many people are gonna be looking at me when I make this video.
So that's why I'm making this video. So again, you can go out and you can get a driver's license for your commercial corporate state if you want to, but when you get stopped and you get pulled over by some motherfucking rookie cop who just wants to make a commission and thinks that they have a dummy in their motherfucking hands because they're wearing a badge with limited authority, this would be the time to watch this video.
Are you being intentionally dense?
Now, of course, I'll bring up the same topics and points that Brother Judah's son brought up. Your right to travel is not for sale. Your right to move around, locomotion, is not for sale, nor should it be for fiat. But unfortunately, that's where we're at, and we're moving out of that very, I'm not going to say slowly, but with a pace in mind. We do not want to upset the system. We do not want to implode the system. We want an organized separation from the United States de facto government. Is that understood? We want a very, very thin slice in between the polarities of what is dead and what is corporate and what is de jure and what is sovereign.
This dude is just rambling and not making any sense. And the sad thing is he really believes in his heart of hearts that he is dropping some knowledge right now. This is ridiculous.
Because what is for sovereigns is not for dead entities. And although it might look a little cool to be dead, trust me, it ain't. Trust me, it's not cool to be dead. Life is for the mother living.
No shit.
Is that overstood? Empress B, be alive. So like you said, international driving permits, most of the countries that adhere to those international driving permits are de facto governments themselves.
This guy is fucking stupid!
And a lot of them are oppressing their own people within their own regions. So the issue again with the international driving permit is that you're asking for permission to do something that you have a God-given, Allah-sent right to do, which is travel in your personal conveyance, your personal automobile. But nevertheless, this is where it gets tricky because we're doing business with pilgrims and we want to make sure that their lives are not endangered in our everyday day-to-day actions as well. And I understand that because I feel like it is very undiplomatic to be rude and mean to travelers. You feel me? I definitely feel that way. Being in the nation that I'm in, we deal with foreigners in our county all day, every day because the pilgrims don't have no other revenue besides tourism. That's their main stream of income, is tourism.
You serious?
This Moorish sovereign has no idea what he's talking about. He is out of his mind. He is just moving his mouth and words are coming out. That is it. It's amazing that he really thinks he's teaching someone something right now when all he's doing is saying nothing but utter foolishness. This is the result of the brain on Moorish science.
So Moors in my nation, in my direct community and village, we have to deal with that tourist traffic all day, every day. But we have that upper knowledge to know that we're not moving. This is our land. This is our nation. So I don't want this video to get past 25 minutes. So I'm going to make this just real quick for you all. UCC law. That is where you will find the appropriate law to solve your driver's license issue. In 2018, I relinquished my driver's license back to the Georgia Department of Motor Vehicles when I became aware of my status as a non-resident alien, and then I went on and I found my tribe and I found my nationality. And I relinquished those de facto documents because I do not adhere to any maritime jurisdiction. I don't care if I'm in Georgia. I don't care if I'm in California. I don't care if I'm in Michigan. I don't care if I'm in Mississippi. I don't care if I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I, as an Aboriginal American of the North American continent, do not subscribe nor do I affiliate with maritime jurisdiction. That is a foreign jurisdiction to my tribal status. And it is to yours too, quiet as it's kept. So, if we want to move around, the best thing I would suggest, I would say at the very least, if you're not going to do business with your state's Department of Motor Vehicles, at least get insurance. At least get liability insurance to cover yourself as we transition through this period into governing our estates. If you are going to travel without a state maritime de facto issued driver's license, at the very least, in order to protect yourself and other foreign drivers, immigrant drivers, and your own heirs, at least get insurance.
This Moorish sovereign citizen is out of his mind. First, he's telling us to give back our driver's licenses. And now he's saying at the very least, after we give back the driver's license, get insurance. Sir, no insurance company will give you insurance without providing your driver's license, fool. What in the doohickey are you talking about, sir?
That's the only thing that I, as an ambassador, can ask of my nation. At least have insurance. You don't have to have your vehicle signed with the Department of Motor Vehicle, because as we know, by signing away your personal property, you are assenting and consenting to sharing your property, your automobile, your motor vehicle with your state. And depending on where your trust is with your state, that could be a good or a bad thing. For me, it's a bad thing all around, because I don't trust the governor of my land estate. I don't trust the governor of any state right now, except for, I will say, North Dakota. Kristi Noem, she doing her damn thing. Shout out, Kristi! Yes, you already know. So I thank you, Kristi Noem, for your honorable governing in my land territory. And it's literally as simple as that. We have our treaty law. Learn to use your state, your treaties. If you don't necessarily have to be of the Washita Almoricanos Empire, but many of us are descendants of darker skin complexion families who are of ancient Washita Almoricanos Olmecan bloodstock. The majority of men in my village are ancient Olmecs, and they just, the brain is clicked off up here, so they don't know exactly who they are.
I'm sorry, sir, but I think your brain is clicked off. And I think what clicked your brain off is Moorish science.
But this is why Allah sent us. This is why Allah sent the Moors who are awakened and are governing in their local territories. So that's the only thing that I can say as it pertains to traveling, because as you all know, everything west of Alabama, everything west of Mississippi technically is considered Indian country. And Indian country is nothing more but another federal misnomer for the ancient Washita Empire, Washita de Dugdamanja. So yeah, if we all want to do business, like I said, in order to protect other passengers, other travelers, at least have insurance. At least have insurance. That's the very least that we could do to show and prove that not only...
Okay, so the video abruptly ends there, and it is my opinion that that is a good thing. This Moorish sovereign citizen was standing here giving the most ridiculous educational video that I've ever seen. He was in the middle of making a salad, and he just starts going off on random topics, and he was all over the place, and quite frankly, none of it made any sense. And as you can see, all Moorish sovereign citizens are worried about is not driving around with a driver's license and unsubscribing to driver's license and giving their driver's licenses back. They're nothing but criminals who are looking to be responsible adults. And this is the nonsense that Moorish science produces.
Moors are awake. We are taking our place on this planet.
From